An unmovable giant sits in the dirt until today. Watch as raw horsepower and precision engineering team up to take it down. This is X Machines, and you're about to see the action up close. A surge of hydraulic torque drives the bucket under the root mass, lifting soil and timber in one decisive motion. With breakout force exceeding 12,000 lbs, this excavator makes stump removal look effortless. Hydraulic cylinders drive the jaws deep into the stump, shearing through knots and roots like they're nothing. With 3,000 psi behind each move, resistance is not an option. When the Gandini Mechanica roars to life, the job site changes instantly. The 200 HP diesel engine drives its high-torque rotor at crushing speed, feeding logs up to 40 centimeter wide into a set of precision-forged knives. In under seconds, hardwood turns to uniform chips, ready for biomass fuel or mulch production. Tangled stumps stand their ground, but the Cat 303.5's ripper tooth is relentless. At 3.6 tons of operating weight, it drives force straight into the root ball, breaking soil and timber in one decisive motion. The ground opens up like paper under a blade. The Caterpillar D8H roars to life, its 300+ HP engine pushing forward with relentless force. Roots snap, soil churns, and the 38,000-pound giant refuses to slow down. Industrial-grade torque meets brute determination. This is where stubborn land learns who's in charge. In frozen ground, the subcompact stump grinder bites deep. Powered by a 24 HP PTO drive and spinning at over 200 RPM, the carbide teeth tear into hardwood like a buzzsaw through ice. The Avant-articulated loader attacks the stump head-on, its high-torque auger delivering up to 3,000 Nm of twisting force, slicing through dense hardwood like it's foam. In the dense green wall of hardwood, the Cat 315DL with a Dennis Cymaf DAM 100D head chews through trunks like they're paper rolls. Packing over 150 HP and a rotor speed of 2200 RPM, it pulverizes trees into mulch in seconds. The stump splitter wedges in, powered by a 200 HP diesel engine, tearing fibers apart at a relentless pace. From bark to heartwood, nothing stands a chance. Polaris ATV grips hard, using 44 HP and low gear torque to rip the stubborn stump free. The BF600's feed system swallows whole logs up to 60 centimeters in diameter and spits out uniform chips without slowing down. The bucket's steel teeth clamp down, fueled by 180 HP of diesel fury. With each pull, 20,000 lbs of hydraulic force rips through stubborn roots buried for decades. This is where raw power meets precision. The excavator's bucket clamps down on the massive root ball, lifting it like it was never there, with sheer hydraulic grace. The Diamond Z 1463B roars to life, its 200 HP powerhouse turning stubborn hardwood into a fine stream of mulch. At over 95,000 pounds, it's not just a grinder. It's an industrial storm tearing through logs with 1,500 RPM fury. The thermite ignites with a blinding flash, instantly turning years of stubborn wood into a roaring inferno. The Bobcat E10, armed with a Rhinox ripper tooth, tears into the stubborn stump with pinpoint precision. Its 1-ton frame slips into tight spaces, while the ripper's hardened steel claw pries deep roots free like they were never there. High-lift jack cranks turn pure leverage into power. Roots snap, soil shifts, stump gone. With steady pressure and the bite of a garden spade, the thuja's root wall finally cracks. Years of growth give way in seconds as the stump rocks loose and tumbles free. Massive stumps drop into the Mezzo 4000S, where twin shafts armed with hardened steel teeth tear them apart. With 770 HP and over 80,000 Nm of torque, this shredder turns timber into chips in seconds. The Black Splitter S2G unleashes over 12,000 Lebetwimods each rotation, tears fibers apart with relentless power, turning stubborn logs into neatly split sections in seconds, proof that precision engineering and brute force can work hand in hand. The Tiger Cat 720G bites into the timber with precision, four-wheel power, high-torque hydraulics, and a sheer head built to drop towering trees in seconds. The chainsaw bites deep, each tooth tearing through decades of growth. Precision and raw power bring the giant down. The victory. BX102RS chips branches up to 10 inches thick, with its PTO-driven rotor and sharp blades turning hardwood into fine mulch in seconds. The log hits the splitter, steel jaws biting with 20 tons of force. In less than 2 seconds, hardwood turns into perfect firewood, thanks to a 12 HP engine running at 3,600 RPM. The log enters, steel blades roar, stripping bark clean at 12 meters per minute. With hydraulic precision and relentless torque, this machine turns raw timber into mill-ready perfection. A crooked birch rolled in. The splitter's 20-ton hydraulic ram and serrated drive wheel bit in, spinning the log forward like a conveyor of raw power. The blade came down with a clean, commanding stroke. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this got your adrenaline pumping, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Until next time.